hello and welcome back to Donkey Kong Country 2. Last time we did, I forget, we did stage 3. Actually, I can check. Last time we did.
There were
Creme
barrels,
Way.
and I think a fish was
this
involved.
This time we're doing Crazy Kremland. Green is here. Oh.
Hi.
Oh crap! I just realized something.
The fact that we're still in my call.
It's That's the wrong server. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wondering why we hadn't moved.
Shady Gundam 04, thank you for following.
Shogun.
Shogun. I don't know why I read that as Shady. I'm sorry.
It's Eminem. That's unfortunate.
Alright. There we go. Alright. I can't get up there. And
You know, between me playing Kirby and you playing Donkey Kong, I should really play their Wii iterations. Since they're based off of their classic titles. They're kind of both in a similar situation. Where they had a bunch of older titles, then disappeared around the N64 and GameCube era, minus Donkey Kong 64. And, well, no. So I guess they disappeared around the GameCube era, since Kirby also had a 64 game. Then they kind of came back with the Wii game that was just their best title, but different in a unique way. And now, ever since then, they've just been releasing different variations on that, which are good variations, but also, like I said before, Triple Deluxe, Star Allies, and Robobot look a lot like Return to Dreamland, and obviously Tropical Freeze looks a lot like Returns, considering it's still in the name.
That's the right level.
One day we'll have a Donkey Kong challenge on Game Sharks, and I'm probably going to do horribly at it. But now you'll have experience. Oh, whoop. Don't want to hit that button.
Where is it?
The bees.
Ah, here it is. What I'm looking for. Oh, I can make that. I made it. It's weird that they put 2 of the bonus areas right here. But oh well. More convenient for me, I guess.
I can't think of this game's bonus music without thinking of The Completionist. I don't even remember if he still uses it because it's been so long since I watched. I should probably watch that recent Sonic 3 and Knuckles ones he's done.
Alright. So, okay, now we go through the level normally. For now.
Was there a treasure chest in every other treasure chest?
Yes.
That's bizarre. You know, that hanging from her hair must be very painful and kind of sticky in this level. I wonder why you never see Tiny Kong and Dixie Kong in the same game. Ignore that one game where they're in the same game together. I think that's the not Bramble Blast. I think that's a level. But it's
the weird shaky wheel one, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the only game where they show up together. Does Rare have, like, copyright on the characters or something?
No, because I think she shows up, I think Dixie shows up in, I think Dixie and Tiny actually show up in Diddy Kong Racing DS. Don't quote me
What
on
about the other two from Donkey Kong 64?
Lanky appears in Bramble in the weird shaky game, and then Funky Kong never shows up again for some reason.
You mean Chunky?
Yes.
Funky is like the highlight of the most recent release. And has been in many games, including ones that aren't even Donkey Kong games, like Mario Kart Wii.
If only he
Which
was
is
back
great.
in Mario. If only they put him back in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah. It'll be even better given all the people who bought the Wii U version, the same stuff as Deluxe. But I've been on this rant before. I'm just upset because I supported the Wii U and my thanks is getting a lower quality version with less stuff.
I mean, I supported the Wii U as well, but I just prefer my Switch a lot more.
But do you have the money to get a Switch? I can't get anything unless it's a holiday or Christmas. And I have other things that I'd rather spend it on.
Well, the Switch was a family purchase.
That's true. Most of that went to my PC, which I am enjoying, both for streaming purposes and just having. I got to play Danganronpa 2 on a TV, that's good enough for me. Though I really should get a Steam Link so I can play the rest of my games, because it's been a long while since I plugged my TV directly into our television. So I've gotten a lot more games since then, like... now I have the entire Danganronpa series. I have Resident Evil 5.
Too many bees.
What else? What else have I gotten recently that would be fun on a big TV? Pretty much anything that you or Blue has given me.
Too many bees around in the...
A lot of stuff from... Oh man, Super Hot would be great on the TV. Or any Telltale game. Found out quickly though, some games aren't meant for TV. Mainly strategy games don't look very well on a TV.
What's going on? This is stupid, honey.
Like you don't want to play like AI War or Company of Heroes. I think Company of Heroes is strategy, is that right?
I don't know. Damn it. They were... Really? Got all those free copies of all the Sega games now to try out.
Oh yeah. Can play Streets of Rage 2. On a big TV. Oh man.
Or you can play Street Rage 2, but every time someone dies...
Okay, so one of my conditions for Battle of the Backlog stuff is that I can only use what a particular version gives me. So, like, for example, I'm playing Zelda 2 on the Wii Virtual Console, so save states aren't a thing, but if I had it on, like, Wii U, save states would be a thing with the restore points. So that would still be fair game. So, that means for the Genesis games, in particular the ones that I got just because Heavy Base had some spares, and I was like, sure, free games.
Actually, the Sega thing has save states.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I can also use the workshop under my rules because that's part of the game. That's not me putting something in. It's not a game genie. It's like something that the game itself has access to. If I was playing them on like an actual Genesis or a virtual console, I wouldn't have that. Which is good, because Alien Soldier is bullshit. Like, I don't blame Heavy Base for my troubles with that game, but it's pretty rough.
I like playing it, but yeah, it is pretty difficult. Apparently you couldn't handle the speed... Neither of us can handle the speed shock and the sound shock.
Like, I put on... I used the chill mode thing, which gives you, like...
Infinite continues?
No, it gives you, you don't lose health by getting attacked. Which is great, until you get to one level where you still lose health because you drown. And you don't have infinite lives.
I would just say that's why I have infinite ammo.
I think that's also an option.
Like...
I think it's infinite lives and infinite ammo, but you still have... Or no, infinite life and infinite ammo, but you still have a number of lives, and you still have a number of continues. Because they're like, oh, no one will die with these limits, except for the fact that they didn't think about the drowning. Let's see, Alien Soldier.
This is a very challenging stage.
I've been playing too many retro games.
Yes, because DR is a retro game. And so is Contradiction.
I mean, I've been playing Zelda 2, I'm gonna be playing Battletoads, I was just playing Kirby.
I know, I was being pedantic, I know what you mean.
A lot of does not mean only.
Well, speaking of weird FMV games, I saw that new Humble Bundle, and I really want to pick it up if I wasn't kind of short on money right now. Because I really want to try out Tesla Effect.
Oh, man! Tesla Effect. I tried that on like a real old stream. Recommended by like some YouTuber I've been following for years. Although he reviews Wii, he reviews Wii games, so it's odd that he would be talking about Tesla. Speaking of old games I played demos of. Oh, never mind.
I also want to pick it up to get the rest of the last Shadowrun game I'm missing.
Thought Score was recommending a game because it's free. I mean, it's still a good game, but I thought it was like free for a limited time.
Playing a game like that.
I played the demo, it seemed cool. I find it funny that the bundle that it's in, Bad Time Stories, I believe I've played all of these on stream before. 2 for a demo marathon, and I think War of Mine was just because it was one of the first Twitch Prime stuff. I was like, I'm gonna play this blind, and like 15 minutes in I was like, this is kind of boring.
Dude, now you have an appreciation for weird point-and-click FMV games. Wait, what are we talking about?
Oh no, I'm talking about this war or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't
not Tesla.
Shadowrun game, yeah, but yeah. I already have the... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really interested in, like, really sort of sad simulator type things.
Meanwhile, I'm all about that. Alright, let's see. Humble Bundle. There's another Humble Bundle going on that I was like, yeah, I really want that, but I have no cash. Oh, never mind. Never mind, I backpedal on that. It was the Humble Sakai thing, and it wasn't, I really want that. It was like, I think I was just thinking, oh, that'd be fun to make fun of. Oh, Broken Sword 5, that's also good. I've heard good things about Shadowrun.
Okay, how did that...
Although, yeah, that seems like the only things that I'm interested in is Broken Sword, Tesla, and maybe Shadowrun. Everything else is kind of... And only Shadowrun Returns, really. Yeah, I don't want Age of Wonders. I remember we were doing a project for, we had just recently read, I think it was Macbeth? Yeah, it was Macbeth, because the other one I was thinking was Hamlet, and that's wrong. And so my friends who had, like, I think Age of Empires just decided, hey, let's just do the big old war scene, but with Age of Empires.
Did it work?
It was actually pretty alright, yeah. I think what I did was just... I think I just... This is gonna sound real weird, although there was a Shakespeare thing that kind of did this. I think I just abridged it. like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged treatment, but for William Shakespeare.
need this for the... So here's something great.
What?
Doesn't stick to the spider doesn't stick to the honey.
Odd? Oh wait, no, that makes sense. What the fuck am I talking about? Huh! It's odd that the spider doesn't stick to things, even though that's how webs work.
I mean, he's also wearing sneakers, so...
Sneakers can get sticky. Man, I've just changed my tone so drastically between like nowadays and back like years ago. Because years ago I was like, oh man, I'm really curious about Super Nintendo games. They seem real cool. I want to play like a bunch of them. And like I played Mega Man 7 and Superstar and I was like, yeah, these are really good. Can't wait to play more. I never did, and then every single time I pick up a Super Nintendo game, I'm like, this looks very impressive, but this plays like absolute shit. Or at the very least, not comfortable for me. Like, I tried playing Home Improvement.
Why?
But like, even the games that aren't bad still feel weird to control for me for some reason. Like, Mario World feels weird to control for me. I'm kind of in a weird territory because I don't agree with neither Ryan nor Meds on Mario World. Meds thinks it's terrible, Ryan thinks it's great, and I'm just kind of like, it exists. There are Mario games I prefer more, but it's not bad.
I'm in Ryan's camp. It's the best.
It's okay. It's all right. I can see what both Ryan and Meds have points for, because there's a lot of times where it kind of blindsides newcomers, but at the same time. But at the same time, it still is a Mario game at the basics. Besides, I don't know if Med should be complaining about a game blindsiding you when his favorite games are Sonic.
Okay,
like, I've played the Genesis games. They pull some stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not very newcomer friendly. Like, when I was watching a video of, like, talking about the highlights of the Genesis games, like, one of their points is memorization. That's great for people who have played it before, but memorization is not really a selling point for people who have never touched a Sonic game. I get what they mean now, because I've played other Sonic games that also do this well, but going into a Sonic game blind is kind of a scary experience. I think the only exception so far that I've had is Sonic Mania. And maybe Lost World, just because Lost World's kind of basic. It's really hard to, like, mess something up early on in Lost World. I think that's why the difficulty curve's so fast. Lost World is underrated, though. Like, I feel like it got too much hate initially.
I mean, I tried it at, I think, a PAX, and it was okay.
That's the thing, though. A lot of people, at least at launch, were like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. Back before Sonic Boom came out. And, like, it's not the worst thing ever, though. It's not nearly as good as, like, Colors or Generations, but it could be a lot worse.
Time for a minecart segment, I mean roller coaster.
Yay.
Whoa! Okay, game.
Oh, I figured out the problem.
What?
With the bits. They automatically give alert variations. That's kind of dumb. How do I delete these? Can I delete these? I like the animations for them, but I don't want it. I have a good one just for any case. No matter the amount.
Shh.
Though I might want to change the GIF because I just picked random GIFs for these way back, and I didn't give much thought into them. But after recent experiences, probably shouldn't use this GIF because it looks like it's art from someone, and I have not gotten permission from that artist. So I may still want to change something with this notification, or at least check with the artist if it's okay to use. If I like credit or give them some kind of payment. Or if it's just open to general use and I'm being too paranoid about it. It's best to check with the artist instead of just stealing their animation. Like all the other stuff I have for GIFs are like general purpose GIFs that like people have made, but it's from stuff. So like the subscription one is from the Smash trailer. The host one is just Galaxy footage. Donations is Mario World. Should really get that sorted out. Raids is from I believe the Mario Sports 3-on-3 trailer. It looks like. It's like Bowser in a white room looking at something menacingly.
I did not just accidentally fly into the or jump into the thing, I forget. But I didn't just accidentally jump into the spine-indies, no sir. God, that's so close. I thought I was gonna die there. Sam. Ooh, new test sound because we're in a different new area. Whoops.
Wait, what?
I played a funky version of the death music because we're in a different area.
Oh, not that. Although that was also interesting too. I think I just realized that this animation that I just haphazardly grabbed was made by like a sprite artist I've actually heard of. And it's apparently pretty big, so that might be a bad idea to use it without permission. So he's probably in a good enough position where he can do something about that, either using social media or just
Well, you're not a
actual
you're
legal things.
like you're not saying anything terrible, so you might be fine.
Oh no, that's not the problem. It's just, it's someone else's art, and I would be using it without their permission. And I don't know if that be a, like, major thing or not, but I feel like the artist in question would not probably care much for that, regardless. So I will check their policy on that, if it is okay or not. They have a lot of Mario Galaxy assets. They have like a cute little penguin, the Guillermo, Rosalina, of course.
Got it.
I really liked the Toad Brigade from Mario Galaxy. They were always nice. Because I like how each one has an individual quirk. And I also like how that stuck through to the other games they're in, like,
Captain Toad.
Yeah, Captain Toad, 3D World, Galaxy 2, of course. Even though apparently that's a different Toad. it's always weird to me playing that game and just having the Toad Captain just be like, "Hi, I found this lamp. Now I'm a captain." Apparently, just like it's canonical that it's not the same Toad from the first game, and that's just so bizarre.
Made it.
But I'm glad the Toad Brigade is still a thing. At least it seems to be. I don't know if it's in Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say. Please, there aren't in there. Alright, Bramble Scramble.
I mean, it'll be a while until I have access to it. I don't even know if I can afford a Momocon ticket unless I'm lucky or set up a stream goal.
It's time for another Bramble level, of course.
And even if I set up a stream goal, I don't know if I'd feel okay with like everybody just being like, "I'm gonna pay for your ticket just because you asked." Even if I gave like an incentive, like making me play a certain game in full. Or some other weird stream incentive. I still don't know how I'm gonna tackle that. I might just do what I tell others to do and just make like video commissions. Just like, if anyone wants a video editor, I'm here. Just pay me enough for a Momocon ticket.
What? Why didn't I? Alright. Here we go.
I should grab another drink. We have so many strikes. By so many, I mean a total of 12. So not really that many. Especially compared to
That
our
was an
Pepsis.
easy find. Alright. Another one of these. Ah!
You missed the bananas.
I'll have to get those on the way back.
Well, that was quick. Not for them to talk.
Whoa, that was dangerous. But I made it.
For some reason... Never mind. It's something bizarre, but not really important.
What?
Though I will mention it had to do with Neil CC Rega. I shared a post of somebody did something with the Crocodile Chop song, but I shared it 3 times to the same site. I don't know why.
That's weird.
I mean, I did it intentionally, but in hindsight, I don't know why.
Okay, if you did it intentionally, that's completely different. What am I hitting? You're doing your own game. Oh, so how are these eggs? These don't look like eggs. The things I'm spitting out. Or the things that the bird is spitting out.
They're probably not eggs.
They're apparently supposed to be eggs. They look like coconuts.
That's what I always thought they were.
Coconut bird.
Honestly, it's bad if your bird is spitting up anything that large.
TG.
In Banjo-Kazooie, it made sense and kind of looked like eggs. But that's just because not Banjo-Kazooie put them out of both ends.
Please don't ever phrase it like that again.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're not wrong. I'm just saying please don't phrase it like that ever again.
It's like somebody used the Simpsons thing as a reaction image, and I think it's fitting. Just like, it's true, but he shouldn't say it.
There's better ways to phrase it than that. Ah! Where even am I? How far am I into the stage? Oh!
Someone points out in the Game Sharks Discord, technically, if you know you're not getting past the turbo tunnel, you could just kill yourself repeatedly to get a faster time.
Well, I thought I could get past the turbo tunnel. I feel like that's just kind of removing the whole point of the challenge.
Why don't people get the fact that they moved to the 24th, including the people that are on their staff? Like, Ryan didn't understand, and apparently neither did Renoko. So someone needs to knock some sense into these people.
Oh, I can't kill that guy. Nice. Damn it. Oh boy.
Some bees never die.
I do not get why people like this music. Like, do people only like this music because of Stockholm Syndrome? Because these levels are not very good.
I like it because of Smash Brothers.
I mean that too, but I mean people that actually played it before Brawl came out. Oh boy, not fun.
I mean, it's also pretty peaceful, which is a stark contrast from the level itself.
Here, next, nothing. There's nothing important over here.
But I think most people who trailed off.
Like I don't even like the Brawl cover of it really.
It's alright.
It's alright, yeah. I mean compared to this is a lot more.
I don't know why I phrased it like that, because I wasn't responding to the thing, I was just, like, responding to the fact that, like, you didn't like the song, like, it's alright, some people don't like good songs, that sounds so condescending.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, I won't defend it, like, if you don't like it, you don't like it.
No, I like it, but it doesn't, it's like, the original version's so much better. It's a lot more...
I meant the song in general.
No, I like the song in general. I mean, I prefer other songs. Like the Aquatic Ambience and...
The only soundtrack I'll defend is in its entirety is Mario Galaxy, and maybe Danganronpa. Maybe. There are some songs that probably aren't that good. Though there was one song that was apparently written intended to make you go crazy, and I just kind of enjoyed it.
This reminds
I
me
was
of
just like, yeah, this is my jam.
There's a song by this artist that I know called Justice, and his song's just called Stress, and it's a song that sounds very stressful, but I love it.
Yeah, I can't say much more other than it's a song that's supposed to make you feel like you're going insane, but I didn't feel that at all.
Maybe because you're already insane.
Probably. I blame OJ on editing.
I'd blame OJ too. I'd blame OJ on a lot of things. I mean, I've been doing I've been doing at least one CPU match for Valentine's Day, the Valentine's Day stuff every day, and I finally got after like 5 or 10 days, I finally got the chicken, the chocolate chicken.
I haven't done anything in that. Mainly because I think people are scared to play with me, but also because I haven't had time.
I finally got the chocolate chicken.
Were you there when Seal shared that anecdote?
I don't think I was.
Apparently he was going for some goal, and like everyone else had agreed to participate to help him get that goal. But I had some cards I wanted to play, and apparently I either didn't get the memo or didn't care, and just posted the like stupid hope despair emote, and then just went ahead and did my stupid fucking card.
See, now you know.
Anarchy. I play OJ like Ryan plays Mario Party 3. Brain Scratch, not Curry. I'm sure Curry Bro actually plays most Mario Parties.
I don't even know if Curry Bro's played OJ.
Oh, I meant Mario Party.
Yeah, I know. Crap.
I think he has it. He just probably has no interest in it because he's probably not up for games where the intention is to screw each other over. At least in like that context. Like he obviously likes Mario Party, but his argument would probably be that it takes skill, and he'd be right, honestly. Like there are some skillful moves you can do in OJ, but a lot of it is reliant on the dice rolls.
Wait, there's skill in there? I didn't know.
I mean, depending on the character you play, like Sweet Tomomo, or the one that takes off his shirt, or what else? There was one other, Sora, I think.
Which Sora?
The one that has a sword that weighs dice rolls. Just anyone that has a kind of ability, maybe not Sora, I don't know. The one I used to defeat Tomomo. But hey, like any of those abilities.
Playing Popo takes strategy. You gotta figure out which person you're gonna be an asshole to.
Yeah, it's like those characters that have cards that are more contextual. Those are the ones that have strategies. Ones that have just like random abilities or abilities you can use anytime, those are more luck-based. Like, so, Popo or Yuki. Popo or Yuki are less strategy-based, but characters like QP or... Fuck, what's another one? I just listed like 3. Those are more strategy-based. The one that has Delta Barrier, that's another one that can use a lot of strategy.
Do you actually know the story about the everything burns Popo?
No.
So we were playing Town of Salem, and we were doing doing names, and I decided to go with Popo. And I spoke only in Popos, and I was also an arsonist. And eventually, at some point, I got found out. So as my dying word, I said, "Everyone burns Popo," and then I died. Apparently that was enough of a thing to get a cock card. Everything burns, Popo. That's why Popo's the best.
I wanna share a Mafia anecdote, but it involves Danganronpa spoilers, so I'll have to save it for somebody who's played the games.
I mean,
it was a fun
you could
situation.
tell me, but I wouldn't get it.
Because it was a game of Mafia. I'll ignore character names, because that'll make things easier. Because I think I could tell the story like without the character names. Because it's Mafia, it's not actual Danganronpa. So if I just say, I think I can phrase this in a way that doesn't spoil any of the games in case you ever want to get around to playing them. So it was 3 people left. One Mafia and two citizens. One of the citizens was a celebrity, and so we knew that person was innocent. So it was down to me, who was playing an innocent citizen, and the opponent, who was a Mafia member. And since we were playing with Danganronpa cards of people who had died, my character was the victim in one case, and the Mafia member was the murderer in the exact same case.
Oh, great.
So, since neither of us had a really good argument for the other person being it, and we knew that it wasn't the celebrity, we were just like, okay, celebrity, we'll just be honest with you. There's not really anything either of us can say. Just choose who you think would be innocent between the victim of this case and the murderer. And they picked the wrong person.
They picked you.
No, I was the citizen. If they picked me, they would have. Or no, rather, they voted for me to die. Yeah, so you're right.
So you don't have to win this race, but I'm probably going to anyway.
Saying who the characters are makes the scene even funnier, but just telling you that it's like the murderer and the victim still gets the point across. It's basically like if you had to pick between, well, I don't know if it'd be this extreme, but I guess it's still a fine enough comparison, like choosing between the Joker or, Robin. It's just like, one is clearly more suspicious than the other. I had to be double sure that I didn't say anything because we haven't even gotten there in my Danganronpa playthrough, so if I had said any names...
You didn't say any names, don't worry.
I had a close call with that on one of the Danganronpa things. I said a spoiler in like the first part, but luckily Lapis didn't catch it, and she'd probably avoid the VOD if I tell her. I won't tell her because I don't think she'll want to watch the VOD, and even then I don't think she realizes I said a spoiler because I said it so quickly. It wasn't like a character death, I was just saying something just offhandedly that was an important detail later on. I'm going to edit that out of the VOD later as well. But now I'm being a lot more careful when I talk about Danganronpa with people who haven't played it.
I can understand that. Like me trying to talk about Final Fantasy 4 with other people. Or, no, Final Fantasy 14, sorry. I want to talk about it, but I gotta make sure, because I like that story, and I don't want to ruin it for other people. We should do another 14, because we did some combat. Wait, we did do some combat. So I don't think we ever did
we killed a lot of small things. I think my internet shit the bed at one point.
Did that happen? I don't remember.
I was trying to kill some like bugs or something, and I was like, "Oh, you can't kill those bugs." I was like, "Why not?" Oh, because my connection is dead.
Yeah, that was during that time where your internet kept dying more than usual. Ah, crap. I'm pretty sure there are no checkpoints in this level, but I don't know.
I still need to find some time to play OJ with Lapis.
Oh, did you buy?
Yes. And I fear for playing with them just because I'm always terrible in OJ people.
I mean, at least they're not playing with Reaper. Because Reaper can be vicious.
Yeah.
Like,
That was what I was gonna say earlier with the cards. Like, that's why I usually put Gift Exchange in the deck, because then the characters who more rely on strategy instead of luck have to ad-lib a situation so that everyone's on the same level.
and we're out of Kremland and back into the marsh with Mudhole
They
Marsh.
kind of just gotta improvise. Whatever plan they had might go to someone else or just be ruined altogether. So then everyone else starts from square one.
So here we have Sonic. I mean, the Cat of Nine Tails.
It's real fun combining, what is it? A Roo with Gift Exchange? Because then you have one card that gives everybody cards, and then another card that shuffles said cards. So people could get, like, a bunch of their hypers, and then those hypers could be distributed. Depending on who you're playing against, that could be intense. I still remember when we had an attack Fernet.
Is that me?
The attack Fernet?
Oh wait, no, that was no.
I believe that was
I'm thinking
Meg.
of Attack Aru, which was was that Maniacal? Was it Xeno?
It might have been Maniacal. I remember that Meg was the Fernet just because I saw it happen.
Which is fun.
And we were all running in fear. I just really like using that card because it makes people come up with new interesting strategies instead of always playing the same character the same way.
Oh, you mean Super... wait, are you talking about Super... Which card are you... Oh, Gift Exchange, right.
Gift Exchange. That's why I always use it, is because it makes different things for the characters.
Sorry,
You have to do
I'm just
different things.
trying to focus on the game, so I only remember bits and pieces of the conversation.
Is that Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, that's the Cat of Nine Tails. I don't know what
Okay,
you're
so
talking
they can
about.
both hang from hooks. I'm talking about the blue spiky creature that's just kind of spinning at you.
Yeah, that's the Cat of Nine Tails. It's definitely not supposed to look like Sonic.
Oh, that church just is gone. I like the animations. Honestly, I wonder what, like, an HD version of this with, like, drawn sprites would look like. Not like 3D like Donkey Kong Country Returns. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just kind of want to see these sprites drawn. Even though I know they're 3D rendered anyway. They're just turned into sprites. Just something about these sprites looks a lot more expressive than the ones from Returns. And it's not like Returns couldn't do expressions, they just kind of saved them for the bosses. How many games were made for the Donkey Kong bongos? Was it 3? Is that it?
Donkey Konga 1, Donkey Konga 2.
Not counting the Japanese one.
Jungle Swing and Odama.
Odama.
Actually, I don't know if that game. I know that game uses the mic, but I don't know if the full release of that game uses the bongos. It's some weird pinball game where you direct an army, but also play pinball.
That's cool. I would be into that.
Yeah, it was like one of the last GameCube games that ever released. But there's an invisibility thing over there.
Could the microphone on the Donkey Kong bongos be used in Mario Party?
No, because I think it's not an actual microphone. I think it's just a sound sensor.
Isn't the one in Mario Party as well?
No, because I think the one from Mario Party actually can detect words. Probably barely.
Makes sense.
I mean, you gotta make sure you can say apple.
Apple.
Although usually mics like that can only really like, because they're designed, from what I've heard, because they're like designed in Japan, they could only they're only really good at picking up stuff if you say it in like a. That might just be for brain age.
I have the stupid theme song stuck in my head of Donkey Kong now. The show. Banana Slammer.
Here we go, Banana Slammer. Why was that show made? Why did Nintendo give that the go ahead?
I got money.
Oh god. Dang it. Need to be faster.
So, new Metal Gear game.
I don't think that's another game.
New game that called Metal Gear. Is that a better phrasing?
I don't know. But yeah, Survive. I've heard that it's kind of generic. Shocking.
That looks kind of generic. And then they'll be like, oh, it looks like you guys do new gear games after all. Missing the point completely. Like most companies do. Like, whenever a franchise doesn't do well just because of something like that, they're gonna blame the fans, even though it's the game that's misunderstood.
Did you mean Capcom? Like, most of the time?
Nintendo does that too. I believe that's why Paper Mario isn't doing very well.
Well, Paper Mario doesn't sell well in Japan either, so...
I think they also tried pulling that with Pikmin.
Well, Miyamoto really likes Pikmin apparently, because he's... What, isn't 4 being made currently?
As far as I'm aware. They haven't really announced anything, but... Like, I constantly keep hearing that they've said something.
We haven't found the secret level for this area yet. Weird.
What do you think Nintendo's least favorite franchise of theirs is?
F-Zero. Honestly, I don't think they dislike any of their franchises. They just always want to find ways to innovate on them. Which is why some franchises haven't, you can't really iterate on F-Zero because Like
Yeah.
you could just use the iterations on on a better selling game like Mario Kart instead. Hard to like, and every time they've tried to iterate on Star Fox, it's failed.
Yeah.
Star Fox.
That's just because they keep throwing in the gimmicks.
Yeah, like Star Fox Assault and or not Assault, but
Adventure.
Adventure, and then which was a Zelda game, and then there was There's Assault and the other one, the 2 GameCube ones by Namco, which are weird. Those are those games. The thing about it, those games are basically EDF games, but with Star Fox characters.
Adventures was a mistake.
Adventures
really
wasted potential.
We should have had the dinosaur whatever thing that they were talking about initially.
Adventures is wasted because I've seen like a lot of that game is front loaded. Like they didn't actually finish the full game, maybe before it came out. Was that a launch game? No, that wasn't a launch game.
Not that I'm aware.
It feels like.
They don't seem to be giving much attention to Earthbound, other than that first title that got released.
Well, then again, that's like technically a second party
And it's
game.
only on Wii U.
Yeah, someone I listened to a podcast and they brought up like they're doing like it's a Nintendo podcast and they're talking about like all the WiiWare games, like the fact that the WiiWare is shutting, or that you won't be able to buy WiiWare games anymore by the end of March. It's like I wonder when that's gonna happen with the Wii U. Because there
Probably
are
sooner.
probably sooner. Because like there are lots of interesting games on the VC that you can't get. Well, on the Wii U VC and a lot of the Wii U downloadable games you can buy in a bunch of other places, but the VC has a lot, like Earthbound Beginnings and.
You know what this is gonna encourage? Lots of piracy.
A lot of people have already done that with the Virtual Console, with the WiiWare games.
I got a copy of my Pokemon Ranch. What else do I need?
It doesn't even work anymore. I'm pretty sure, because I think it requires a internet connection, and you can't connect to the.
It functions, but it's not like nearly as good. Like most of the Wi-Fi stuff. Like Battle Revolution. Battle Revolution had a Wi-Fi feature.
I never really used it.
I used it a lot, but I don't get why people didn't like Battle Revolution.
I think it was interesting. I mean, Twitch Plays Pokemon now uses that for their Salty Bit equivalent. Which is cool.
I understand their argument that it's not as good as like Stadium or Coliseum or any of those other titles.
The issue is that there's no... I don't think there's any rental Pokemon in the game.
There are. You get 2 different trainer cards with 2 different teams of Pokemon.
Right, but you don't get like what you got in Stadium, which is like all these Pokemon are they have these weird moves, but you could theoretically beat all of the stuff with a rental team. It'd be difficult, but you could.
I mean, you could also do that in Battle Revolution, because I remember doing that for quite some time until I was able to get my copy of Diamond hooked up, which is now lost anyway.
Yeah, like that was my other issue, that I had a copy of Heart Gold and that worked, but I didn't have like.
One thing that I will complain about with Battle Revolution is its weird gimmicks in the story mode.
Yeah, like I remember losing a lot because my teams were kind of overpowered for what I needed. I remember the roulette ones were quite annoying because more often than not, the other guy, the opponent would get my broken team, and I'd kind of be scrambling.
And I believe the other ones also had gimmicks that were pretty similar. I'm gonna look this up. What other gimmicks did they have? Because I remember there weren't ones that were bad as the roulette, but there were ones I remember being. Rating 53, jeez.
But that, yeah, that's part, like, even, like, there was no way to, I think there was no weird mini games, like, stadium ones, or there was no... Alright, there's the kiosk. Alright. Let's see what level we have today. We've got Clobber Carnage. 2Ks. Is this gonna be a level filled with only these barrel monsters? I didn't know these guys were called Clobbers. But so far, yes!
Okay, so it looks like the first one is you have to use the rental Pokemon. And the second one you can use whatever you want.
Like I'd love to actually play through one of the stadium games on stream. Those games like cheat like a lot. Those games manipulate the enemy's AI really aggressively and makes it really hard to even win normally.
There's one-on-one battles between each of your Pokemon. A tournament battle?
I think that means that it's set up like a tournament.
16 trainers faced off in a tournament tree. Huh. And then another tournament, some standard matches. Select battle. 12 random Pokemon from a set list are thrown onto the screen. You get to select the Pokemon you want out of these 12. The 12 are not the same 12 as what you and your opponent have? What? What?
So confused.
So, 12 random Pokemon that have nothing to do with neither your nor your opponent's trainer card show up, and you just pick at random. Why?
Because
that sounds awful.
They didn't want, because I don't think they did the level scaling. I don't think by default anything scaled to like 20 or. There's probably a way to compensate for that. Dang it! So close to being this level on my first try.
Like, I will defend the multiplayer of this game, like, to the ends of the earth. But these gimmicks are pretty bad. Why? Why would it be like this?
Because like I said, they didn't want you to... They didn't... I don't think they had level 50 level scaling on the fight, so instead they made the gimmicks really weird so that you couldn't just blast through them with a level 100 Palkia. Or something.
Okay. Standard matches. After trade battle, after any given win, you can trade someone on your pass for one of the opponent's Pokemon.
So
you can trade with the AI.
So Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle City, got it.
Basically. Little battle. You must.
Little battle's the usual one, like Tiny Cup and Pika Cup. Ah,
it says you must use custom passes. The only Pokemon allowed are those on level 5.
Yeah, there's a one like that just in Stadium. That's nothing new.
Dittos are disallowed because they. Oh no. Pokemon must have another evolution, but they must be at their lowest. So Dittos are disallowed, but a Pichu is allowed provided it's under level 5. What? Why?
A Pichu? Wait.
You cannot use Pikachu. From their rules, it has to be level 5 and it has to have an evolution tree, but not be evolved.
The stuff like Pichu, Ninkita, Elekid.
Eevee missing the entire point of that line.
Trying to think
Oh
of Pokemon,
man.
But,
What's
wait,
the most
that, like, I can understand that, because that means you can't use, like, stuff like Cast Form or Pinsir or Pokemon that are
Any
good by
legendary.
themselves.
Any legendary, you
Actually,
can't use any of
legendaries are
those.
default banned, I'm pretty sure.
No, you can use those in the story.
Yeah,
I used the Darkrai for a longest time.
Yeah, and I used a Giratina that I got from an egg.
But that would be against these rules. I'm trying to think what's the most OP low-level Pokemon. Or what's the most OP, like, baby Pokemon.
Probably be... Oh wait, you could always use just egg moves and make that really broken that way. Like here's my baby. It's got Blizzard, Flame, or Fire.
Igglybuff knows death.
It's got Blizzard. It's got Fire Blast. And it's... Ah, what just happened?
Oh man, I wish I had that like booklet of all the Pokemon from like gens 1 through 4. And if they had evolution trees, because that would make this way easier.
I mean, alternatively, you could just pick ones that only have any of the good ones that have only two evolution lines. Like, I don't know, Abra you can teach Psychic. I think Abra would be pretty broken.
There's Hypno, I suppose. Oh, not Hypno, the other
Drowsy.
one. Drowsy. Drowsy's alright. You could do Magikarp!
You could use a Feebas. I don't think Feebas is any better than Magikarp. I mean, I just use starters.
Is Kirlia any good?
I don't know.
Is that even the one that's like the first? No, it's Ralts. Ralts is that one. Vulpix, I think, is usually okay. There really isn't a very strong baby Pokemon.
I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it?
I guess. But I want to find a loophole, damn it. Okay, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. Oh god, Caterpie. Weedle, Pidgey. Rattata. My Rattata's in the top 100% of Rattatas.
That
Whatever the line
make
is.
sense mathematically.
What's the line? I want to look it up. Top
10.
100 Rattatas.
Like, as someone that's been taking statistics class, that sentence doesn't make sense mathematically.
My Rattata is different from regular Rattata. It's like my Rattata is in the top percentage of Rattata.
Damn it.
Top percentage of Rattatas. For fuck's sake. That's the true way you beat this challenge, because you're the top Rattata. Spearow, Ekans. Sandshrews pretty decent.
Ekans might be good.
Nidorans. Oh no, never mind, because I forgot about Gen 2. I was gonna say, oh, you could use Clefairy. Oh wait, nope.
Cleffa.
Thanks, Cleffa. You ruined it, Cleffa.
Oh, Magby's pretty good. Those Elekid.
Vulpix. Does Igglybuff do anything? Oh, Zubat's pretty good. Usually, sometimes. Oddish, another solid pick. Maybe Paris.
Just pick. You know what? You know what you could use? You could use Dragonair. Or Dratini. That's what it is. Because Dratini is a dragon type, just making it broken by default. And Dratini is still pretty good either way.
Mankey, I think is usually pretty good. I don't think he has a pre-evolution.
Pre-evolution is monkey.
Cubone. Seen a few good ones. Oh no. I was gonna say Hitmonlee, but no, the Tyrone. But yeah, there's a few good ones.
What the heck?
As far as I'm aware, there's not a legendary that evolves.
Well, there's technically Fiona. Actually, not even Fiona evolves.
Nope, those are separate things from Manaphy.
Weird.
Togepi has a metronome. Yeah, I'm gonna stop looking at this list because we'll be here forever.
I mean, it's good at wasting time. Damn it.
Survival battle. You face trainers constantly with no rest in between. After you win, you throw a dart at a wheel to determine whether you recover HP, PP, or status problems.
Well, that second one just seems kind of useless. The status problem one seems kind of useless. I would have it be any held items you have.
And then the last one is standard matches. Although the anti-cheat rules are on, that means explosion and self-destruct will result in a loss if they're used by your last Pokemon, and Destiny, Bond, and Perish Song will fail if used by your last Pokemon. What do you mean anti-cheap? If you knew those things were on, you'd use those moves earlier when your opponent has less Pokemon, but you're not down to your last.
All right, Ramby Rumble. Like the last stage. I think this is the last normal stage for this area.
It's like using a Ganon side.
It's another honeycomb one.
With Ramby?
Apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry for diverting there a bit by ranting and talking
It's
about
fine.
Pokemon Battle Revolution.
Having a discussion point is good than just sitting here in silence.
You know, I'm starting to see why people complained about Battle Revolution. I still love the multiplayer because that one makes sense and is currently like the highest quality you can do them in. I guess since technically the handheld titles have already turned into their own Pokemon stadiums. Since you have 3D graphics now. But it is currently the highest quality console Pokemon traditional game. Which is weird because you think they just use the Pokken assets for a game like that. I don't know how I'd feel about a console main series Pokemon game. Mainly specifically the Switch version because it's a console and a handheld, so it's bizarre, but not technically breaking any unspoken rules about it being on handheld. Because it is still technically on a handheld. It's just also a console. Aw, she eats the honey when you pause on it. Why is PlayerUnknown and Fortnite so popular on Twitch?
Because a lot of people are playing. Because it's the new thing right now.
I never got the appeal of battle royale games.
I didn't
That might be
either.
just because. That might be just because the lack of the Twitch Prime stuff pissed in my cup during H1Z1. But I'd like to think that just a personal grudge isn't the only reason I dislike an entire genre.
I
Especially
just
considering-
don't like survival games like that. I don't like dying once and then too bad. I don't even like that TF2, and I love TF2.
That's why Arena is so less popular than the rest of the other modes. Arena is basically just that concept, but smaller. Yeah, I much prefer traditional Team Fortress. Or Man vs. Machine. That's good too. I like that there's a co-op version as well.
Yeah, Snowy just got some MVM tickets, so if you ever want to play...
I don't have any, but... It's disappointing because I wanted to stream sometime. I much prefer shooting at bots than shooting at people, both because it's easier to do and also because I feel less guilty. Just like, oh, I ruined the person's fun by killing them. I mean, that's how those kind of games go down. It's a competitive game for a reason. I'm not much good with competition. That's why I usually play a lot more straightforward games where it's just you and the game. The only thing you're conquering is the level design or the
or yourself.
puzzles. Yeah. More often than not, it's usually that last one that causes me a problem.
I mean, I'm doing much better right now. Case in point. I'm just lucky to have a cool head over these frustrations. I'm so used to it.
Yeah. Hold on.
No, I didn't. Alright.
Was called away for something that apparently couldn't wait 30 more minutes. But I grabbed a drink in the meantime. Man, I really want to get a disc drive so I can play some of my stupid, like, kids games. I've got a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have just because we save a lot of stuff from my childhood. Like, we got, A Bob the Builder game. 3 Blues Clues games.
Yeah, like there are a bunch of old retro games that we don't have anymore, but I want to figure out like if I can get them some way and play through them, like 3D mini golf and foil board game, whatever. Although at this point I wouldn't really need the foil games because I could just play Tabletop Simulator. Although I guess Tabletop Simulator doesn't have AIs. Like backgammon against certain I usually play Parcheesi.
I have Jumpstart Spanish and Reader Rabbit first grade.
I'm surprised those games aren't on Steam. Then again, they kind of have, like, compared to like the...
I wish Humongous Entertainment could put the Blues Clues games on there, even though Nickelodeon probably wouldn't let them. Because it's not relevant anymore. I don't even know if Nick Jr. is still a thing, but even if it is, like,
I don't think Nickelodeon
seems like the show. Seems like if.
I don't think Nickelodeon. Sorry, you finish, and then I'll say what I was gonna say.
If Nick Jr. is still a thing, I don't think their shows are like as big a deal as they used to be. Because I hear like a bunch of people my age or younger talk about shows that were on Nickelodeon back in the day, or Nick Jr. specifically, like Blue's Clues and Little Bill, and even Lazy Town kind of came from that whole deal. But I have not heard a single person, child my age or like a parent, talk about anything on current Nick Jr., if it even still is a block. Same for Disney Jr., except for like apparently Mickey's Mouse Clubhouse is still a thing.
Still a
Other
thing?
than that, I don't think I've heard anything about that either, but that one I know is still going on. It's just it's kind of in a weird area with Disney XD where you don't really know where the like small children content ends and the like 10-year-old stuff begins. Because they put I think they put that Tangled show on the same block, which can be done for general audiences. I think, from what I've seen, I'd assume.
Get back down there. Oh, what's the wrong way? There we go, there's the secret.
Although that reminds me, there is one cheesy children's game that I could play on stream that I don't need a disk drive for. And you know what? I might play that next week now that the idea's in my head. We still have a copy of Go Diego Go lying around here somewhere.
Oh yeah, the Wii game that Johnny reviewed.
That one I was not responsible for. That was my younger brother. But at least I heard like him and other kids talking about those series. Even if
Now
I
we've
was
got
too
a
old for
shooter
it.
segment.
Taking a page out of the Kirby series.
Ah, you got to hit it. Okay, so I was hitting the wrong. You're supposed to hit the stinger. I was hitting it whatever.
I hope there's another situation like what happened on Christmas where everybody just kind of gives each other challenges. I doubt that'll happen until next Christmas, but
By then,
it was fun.
By then we'll probably be on season 3.
There's a number bigger than 2. Bird is dead. No more bird.
Another bee shooting up spikes. For some reason.
I don't like bees.
Bees are cool, but bees are not nice.
Especially if they sound like Jerry
Jerry
Springer.
You were about to
Jerry
say, yeah,
Seinfeld. Jerry! His name is Jerry, that's all I know. He has no last name.
God, I'm glad that meme's done. The whole reading the entire B-movie script joke.
Yet somehow Tomska still gets tormented with it. I think steamed ham has taken its place.
I like steamed hams. It's actually funny. Because the joke in the first place is actually funny.
Yeah, because it's from a comedy show.
You don't need to add anything. You don't need to add anything to make that scene funny. You have to add stuff to make B-movie funny. Dang it. Not dropping fast enough.
I'm glad people are getting clips of my channel, because like I keep looking through my clips, not realizing people have clipped stuff, and looking back at certain moments that people found clip-worthy is great. Ooh. I hope that Twitch does that year in review thing again.
They did. There's that. Oh,
No,
for the
like this
clips?
upcoming year.
For the clips.
I tried going back to the 2017 page, it's gone. Luckily the clips are still there. I could just list them by views. For now, it looks like the things that would get nominated next year is the time where like Maniacal and I got like so frustrated with Xeno saying that Dokapon is not a board game that we almost ignored the fact that Maniacal didn't know how to play Candyland. Like I had to go on a side tangent because I was getting frustrated with Xeno, but I also had to correct Maniacal because he was also wrong, but in a different way.
You were also wrong, but in a different way.
Like, I agree with you on Dokapon, but that's not how you play Candyland. You dice.
I can't wait so long, I couldn't tell you. I read it. No, I was about to say it's cards, but that's sorry.
No, the Candyland has cards. Sorry might have as well, but it's been a while, so I don't remember. I believe they have cards since there's a sorry card.
This fight's hard.
It looks like it's Candyland, and then most popular clip for this month is from Nekopara on Valentine's Day.
Oh right, that
Where-
clip. I saw that.
Yeah,
Get
one
out
of the girls
my
was just like,
face. Too close to my face.
yes. It's weird. It's like that's like the third time that's happened because it happened in Doki, then it happened in Nekopara, then it happened in Danganronpa of all things. I again won't say the characters because, like, even if I gave you context, I don't think I don't know. But just in case, I won't say who, but somebody in the class trials got too uncomfortably close.
Steal your soul.
I am probably gonna post it in the garden for like spoiler's sake though, just because it's a clip that I forgot about. I like sharing the clips in the Discord. Shogun's clip of Kirby will go in like the library though. But I've had some pretty good clips so far. Last year had some pretty good ones too. But like, some of them, OJ, did not age very well.
Oh, is he dead? Oh god, he's turned into several smaller bees! It's not a joke!
The situation has been made worse by the addition of yet more bees!
Oh god. Suddenly, bees. All of them.
This bee boss is being very difficult. A large influx of bees ought to do the trick!
Best power from Bioshock.
I was referencing oh fuck, what's his name?
Roger?
No. It's an animator. Makes really smooth animations. Is it Harry Partridge? Is that his name? I think. He made 2 short animations about a character called Dr. Bees, and it feels like something you'd see on Adult Swim.
Oh god, this isn't even the... This. I thought that'd be it. Die. Oh god.
Some of his old stuff hasn't aged well, but most of his more recent stuff is pretty good.
One dead bee. Alright. That's the end of the stream.
What we've learned today is I'm now scared whenever I have to get around to Pokemon Battle Revolution.
But where can they watch you play Pokemon Battle Revolution?
Nowhere, because I'm not gonna play it.
Okay, then where can they watch you play other games you're terrified of playing?
Green Power Star. I want to find a replacement for my copy of Wii Party U, because the Runaway Guys playthrough makes me want to play it again.
Alright. And then tune in on for this channel. Tune in on tune in on Thursday for more DKC 2 and Friday for more Final Fantasy 7. Until next time, good night, everybody.